Welcome back in the pursuit of wealth, everybody. It's Rod with Pow Group, your home for MSOX, crypto assets, news and interviews. Happy Friday. It's August 29th. Hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to take a look at MSOS. We'll bring up the price chart. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on the technicals, what to expect in terms of the price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. But spoiler alert, we are looking at north of $7 as the next potential target. We're going to take a look at that and more. Before we do, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe. Tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. And full disclosure, I do own a little bit of MSOS in my portfolio. It's not a huge position, but personally, I'm more interested in owning the individual names, especially when only like a half a dozen make up around 80% of the fund. But a lot of people asking for an update on MSOS. We'll take a look here on the daily time frame. So we have two bullish continuation patterns here at the moment. One already confirmed, and it was the first daily bull flag. You can see here the target on that was 743. We started daily consolidation today, and we formed a nice daily higher low, and it's another daily bull flag. So this is giving us confluence, more confidence, more signals, indicators, patterns, all saying the same thing. And you just take your measured move there from the low to the high, move it out to your 0.32 fib, and you're looking at about a measured move of $7.43. We also just had a golden cross as well on the daily time frame with the 50 coming up through the 100 and the 200 day moving average. When that happens, that's called a golden cross, death cross on the flip side. And you can see here we've seen tons of upside. And we also had a bullish triple thunder crossover go off on the POW algo alerts. This was on the first week of July. So you can see here on the first week of July, we got the algo alert. What that is when the price gets above the 10-week moving average, the MACD and the stochastic all simultaneously cross bullish. And when all three of those things happen simultaneously, you get an alert in the POW algo service. And as you can see, that alert fired off at $3. And here we are at a high of $6.02. So the high of yesterday at 602, that basically put us about just under 24% away from that target. So as we know, there's a lot of speculation that we could get rescheduling to Schedule 3 announced at some point, really any day now, any week, any day. A lot of speculation that it could be today, this weekend, maybe shortly after Labor Day. So Monday's going to be a holiday, and then trading day will be on Tuesday, and that's going to be a brand new month as well. You can see here today was the last trading day. So on Tuesday, that'll be a brand new month as well. But a lot of these names have record monthly volume. You got CGC, Tilray, record monthly volume, MSOS, record monthly volume here as well. So the highest before this was 353.15 million, and we just had 359 and change. So we were seeing a record monthly volume, and we're seeing that across other names. CGC had some stock offering new ATM, 200 million ATM after hours. That's definitely kind of putting a damper in things. But overall, best case scenario, we get some sort of announcement with regards to rescheduling next week. And SPY is also a daily bull flag as well. So if we bring up SPY, and if you're not looking at the S&P 500, and let's say you're only holding is MSOS, well, if you're not looking at SPY, you're not also getting the broader market picture. And as you can see here on the daily time frame on SPY, we held the 0.32 fib perfectly, and we actually confirmed the bull flag back on Wednesday. And then we got our follow through, same thing as MSOS today. We started daily consolidation and just another daily bull flag forming. So it's very, very similar. And right now we're just tracking the broader market, awaiting this news, right? And if we don't get the news, if it doesn't come in the next week or so, we're more than likely going to see weekly consolidation and a pretty hefty pullback on a lot of these MJ names. But on the day today, you can see VFF's just an absolute beast. We were up almost 4% at the close, followed by Verano and YOLO and High Tide. And then on the bear list, we had Tilray, CXXI, AYR, and CGC. Like I said, CGC had the news after hours, new ATM 200 million offering, and it's down over 10.5% here after hours. So we'll look at, all eyes will be on the US, obviously, and if we get a rescheduling announcement, we could easily see these names continue higher from here, another 50 to 100%, easily. But keep in mind, look at this move on MSOS. This move is all coming off the low of 206. We haven't consolidated on the weekly time frame. Now, it has been 9 weeks in a row. So when something like that happens and you have a pattern that long that hasn't broken, you will expect a pretty sizable pullback whenever it does happen. And factoring in the fact that it's the weekly time frame, these candles generally make up a lot more percentage moves, right? So just like we had tons of upside here on these 9 candles, if this was on the hourly time frame, instead of 200%, it might be 20%, right? Or 40%. But again, since it's the weekly time frame, the percentages are much higher on the way up and much higher on the way down. So we could easily, like, we're more than likely set up for a weekly inside bar into next week, bearing, you know, any unforeseen, no new developments, I guess, with regards to rescheduling. That's what I'm trying to say. But we could easily, from here, pull back 30-40% and just be healthy and just be looking for a weekly high or low. And if we go here from the low to the high, let's actually get rid of the daily ones that I drew because it's going to make it difficult to see. But if we do start weekly consolidation into next week, or yeah, it's going to be interesting into next week. We'll see what happens with the broader market. But yeah, if we do start weekly consolidation, let's say hypothetically we started it next week, as long as we hold $4, we're just fine. That could be a potential weekly bull flag. So it's too early to tell yet because we haven't even started weekly consolidation. But the clear pattern is these higher lows every single weekly candle for the last almost 10 weeks. So the low of this week, next week, will be imperative. If we lose 505 next week, then weekly consolidation will be underway. It just means you're losing the low of the previous candle, you're consolidating, you're pulling back. And when we're bouncing, when we're breaking the high of the previous candle, that's called the bounce, right? So if we do start weekly consolidation, that will be a huge red flag. And like I said, we could easily pull back to that $4.50 to $4 range. But very bullish on MSOS, very bullish across the sector. You've got some names like VFF, you got Cureleaf, which have been on absolute tears. But yeah, look at VFF. This is exactly what you want to see coming off a long-term bottom. You had a weekly bull flag here, a second weekly bull flag. And again, this thing has no support all the way down to 98 cents. So this thing could easily pull back 30-40% and still be healthy, still be in a weekly uptrend. That's why you need to understand, like, you don't have to understand everything about a chart, but just knowing this alone, saying, hey, we haven't developed any support and we have no support all the way down to $2. So if this thing were to pull back to $4, most retail investors would be pulling their hair out, losing their ever-loving minds. But anybody who knows anything about a chart, you would look at this and say, okay, well, we could easily pull back 20-30%, like you almost would expect it, and it would just be healthy. So as of right now, like I said, we're looking at the daily time frame is the most important. We're looking at a move up to 743 as the next target, and we're only about 24% away from it, and definitely favoring, just with the price action we've been seeing, with the bullish continuation patterns that we're seeing here yet to hit those targets, we're definitely favoring some sort of positive development with regards to news. And what do we know is on deck that everybody's waiting for? That would be rescheduling announcement. So we'll see if we get it here this weekend into next week. It would make for an interesting long weekend if we get the announcement and it ends up being Schedule 3 that they're moving forward with. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section. We'll continue the conversation there. Enjoy your long weekend. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll catch you on the next video.